Hello and welcome to the Gooner Talk, back again with you guys for another episode of what is the Arsenal Transfer Show. Join you every morning at 8 a.m. UK time. Hope you're doing good. Hope you're doing well. I feel like this is skewed. That's better. There we go. Lovely stuff. Good morning. Thank you everyone for joining us. Very much appreciate your presence as always and making this a part of your morning routines. Hope you're doing good and well. I hope you've had a good week. You've made it to the weekend. Congratulations. I hope you've got some really exciting stuff planned. I do. Hence why this is going to be a very, very short show this morning. It is live. It's not pre-recorded. Thank you to those that tuned in yesterday for the pre-recorded episodes. But I'm going to be out of the house pretty quick. So it's going to be a snap fire round through all of the transfer news and talk. And then I'm going to try and tackle as many of your questions in what is going to be a lightning round show this morning. But good morning to everyone joining us in the chat box. It looks like StreamYard has mugged people off again. So let's go into... Has it? Maybe it hasn't. Amira, good morning to you. Barry, good morning to you. Stevie, to Jose, to Peter. Good morning to Kaiser and Clock Orange, Silky, Matt G. Ephraim, good morning to you. Black Shine, good morning to Clock Orange, NSW. Bernadette, Temi, we've got Davidson, Olawale, NSW, Stuart, Gouda Jake, and Rich, and plenty more of you guys as well. It was great last night. I was at the Tonington with Mike and a few friends, judges, Potsy, Gabe, etc. It was brilliant, and had a great time. I managed to we did a raffle, of which one of the prizes was 2 tickets to the live show that of course we're hosting on the 13th of August, and I won. I won those 2 tickets. So what I'm going to be doing is just giving 2 tickets away. So if you would like to come to our event on the 13th of August, get in touch and you can get 2 free tickets to the event. If it was, if you weren't able to come because of the price of the tickets, well, there are 2 tickets available. So drop me a DM on at the Gooner Talk TV or at Tom Cantor Media. And on the 13th of August, that's the day after the Nottingham Forest game. If you'd like to come to our live podcast, which I'll show you more details in a little bit, drop me a DM and first come, first serve. So get your messages in if you can. Right then, let's go on today's stories, shall we? Zinchenko returned to full training, however, is not expected to be involved in the game for Ukraine today, taking place at Stamford Bridge, of course. Still working his way back to full fitness, but he is now in full training, so should be back on the field very, very soon. So that's really positive news regarding Zinchenko. Mikel Arteta conducted his press conference yesterday. He was asked about a number of things. He was asked about Aaron Ramsdale's kind of comments in the Players' Tribune, and he said the article was great, very open, very transparent. I think he expressed what he feels about the topics that he discussed, and I think he was very brave to do it in the way that he did. He was asked about the size of the squads. He says, we are in a process of working on a few things to make decisions. There is still time to do that. We are very happy with the squad, that's for sure. As well, we have to make sure that we can share minutes around the team in order to have a healthy competition within the squad. And we are working on that. Interesting, kind of alluding there to a bit of what he's going to do regarding rotation and how we're going to rotate players. That's going to be very interesting indeed. He was also asked about Gabriel Jesus. He said he's fine. Obviously, he was very disappointed. He was feeling very good. This issue came up, which nobody expected, so we had to do a little procedure there. Unfortunately, it was the best thing to do as quickly as possible, the better, and we made the decision, and hopefully he'll be back soon. So no timeline yet still on Jesus. However, I sent a few suggestions around, how the type of procedure it may have been. I've got that confirmed, so I'm not going to discuss the fine details, but hopefully it shouldn't be a long period of time whatsoever. He was also asked about Bukayo Saka as well, because of course Saka was missing for the game against, well, not missing, he was on the bench if you like, but he was asked about that and he basically said Bukayo was feeling much better today, so I don't expect any other concerns, which is obviously really good news. Inter Milan have returned for Balogun. Atalanta have hijacked Inter Milan's efforts to try and sign Gianluca Scamacca, and that has led to Inter Milan returning for Folarin Balogun. Now, suggestions are that they were willing to pay around 25 million euros plus 5 million in add-ons. Arsenal are looking for something closer, as we know, to 50 million pounds, which is quite a big difference. There has been some suggestions that they could come down to around the 40 million pound figure, and that there's expectation and confidence on Inter Milan's side that Arsenal will come down on their fee for Balogun. I said and have said before, the expectation from my end is that a figure around 35 million is what I thought would be what he ends up going for. It seems that we're moving in towards that kind of area. I'm hoping it is at least 35 million pounds that Arsenal get. I said before that the way in which this market has gone, Arsenal, you would have hoped for upwards of 40 million pounds, close to 50. But without the suitors, without the clubs that are there to spend the money on Balogun, it puts Arsenal in a position where they may have to accept a slightly lower fee for a player that will have 1 year left on his deal next summer, will not have played as much as maybe he could have done if he had gone on loan again, which he doesn't want to do. And that would have left Arsenal in a very tricky situation regarding a potential figure next summer. So it does make sense. Still, if Arsenal can get upwards of 35 million pounds to try and move Balogun on at that kind of level. So let's wait and see what happens. But it's not, I'm afraid, as 3 Pointer says here, 50 or nothing. It's just not that simple. It's just not that simple. Moving forwards to goalkeepers to round off our news section. And Nottingham Forest have made an official bid for Matt Turner. But what is the value of it? We don't seem to have any information that has come out. I've certainly not been able to dig anything up. And Fabrizio Romano reporting this yesterday that Forest had made that official bid for Matt Turner. It is a permanent offer, so he would be leaving the club on a permanent deal, not a loan with an option or a loan with obligation. That's what we've been told by these reports. But what is the price tag? We've not been given any indication as to how much the offer towards Arsenal is. I think that some people I think it's very split. I've seen a lot of differences in opinion on how much they think Matt Turner is worth. Some people say we'd be good to get £10 million. Some people say we want to get £20 million. I fall somewhere in between those two figures. I think a £15 million fee would be really good business for Matt Turner, considering he cost 7.5 only a year ago when we got him. So doubling his fee despite being a backup goalkeeper, I think would be representing really good business once again for Arsenal. So if Arsenal get at least £15 million from Forest, that'd be great. But I know that after costing us £7.5 million, if it's anything lower than 10, I would be rather disappointed, I think. But let's wait and see. Let's see what happens. But if Arsenal get 50 million quid, it might mean that they can get half of the figure off of this guy. Arsenal have seen their opening bid for David Raya of around £23 million knocked back. However, there are suggestions that positive talks are still ongoing. And also, it is a situation where they feel as though Arsenal's £23 million isn't too far away from the number that might get this deal done. I tell you, if Arsenal get him for close to £25 million, for less than £30 million, Chelsea are going to look so incredibly silly paying £25 million for Robert Sanchez. So if Arsenal are successful in trying to get David Raya for less than £30 million, it would be an amazing achievement. You can get significant discounts as well off a fantastic VPN service. All you need to do is go to nordvpn.com/Gooner to get yourself that significant discount. We're getting into the low balls, the low balling transfers of VPNs. They are low balling you in terms of what they are costing you to use this service. If you go, as I say, to nordvpn.com/Gooner, you can get yourself a significant discount off a 1 or 2 year plan. It gives you the ability to, of course, change your geolocation on your laptop, your phone, your tablet, all those wonderful devices that are stuck to you because you can't live without them. And if they are stuck to you, you want them to be safe. You don't want anyone else to be peeping at what you're doing on those devices. And VPNs, if you're not aware, they do exactly that. They stop people from getting involved in those things. So it's worth having access to them. Right then, let's go to part 2. Your questions for the next 5 minutes right after this. So you can, of course, get involved in our podcast. I mentioned this before. I've got 2 free tickets now to give away because I won my own tickets in the Gooners versus Cancer raffle. So if you'd like 2 free tickets, get in touch. First come, first serve. And you can come along on Sunday, the 13th of August, to the Mildmay Club in London to see myself, Harry Simu, UFK, Mike Feinberg, and Bailey Keogh for a live 2-hour podcast with a break, with drinks, with chat, good friends and family. So do get involved. If you haven't done so already, you can scan the code if you want to buy tickets, of course. If they happen to leave and you want to help support things as well, you can buy tickets too. So get involved. It is a week tomorrow, this event. So do not waste any time. Okay, let's go to the chat box. And I've got 4 minutes to tackle as many questions as I can. Let's do this. Zungtar says, who are the highest player sales? It's Alex Iwobi, I think, at £38 million. Mohammed says, do you see any potential in the Mohamed Kudus links? Yes, I do. I think there's potential for us to sign him. Amir says, in what category do you put the Trusty and Turner regarding Arteta Edu signings? Since we made or will make profit, is it a positive? Love the channel. Thanks, mate. Yes, it is a positive. We've trebled Trusty's value. Turner, we could end up, if we do, doubling his value. Good signings, good profit. Happy days. Massive Balele says, good morning, Tom. Intrigued by this. Do you think that we might see 2 fullbacks inverted in Zinchenko and Timber, or is the fullback inversion always going to be rotated? My instinct tells me that it's always going to be rotated. I think you have to have balance if you're playing an inverted fullback. It's like having a Ben White or a Kieran Tierney or Tomiyasu on the other side, so you can have a Timber or a Zinchenko. I think is probably the way forwards. Jamie says, hi, Tom. If Raya does join, we will obviously have 2 keepers good enough to be a number 1, which could lead to one of them leaving next summer. Who do you think will leave and where to? I don't know. It depends on how they perform. I do think that there is more chance of Ramsdale leaving of the 2 right now if we sign Raya. What I would say is if we sign Raya and he doesn't become the number 1 this season, I still think both keepers will be here going into the 24-25 season. But after that, there may be a decision to be made. What I would say is go listen to David Raya's comments he made on a podcast. Can't give the podcast credit because it wasn't credited when I saw the clip of the video. But he talked a lot about the family of goalkeepers and working with other keepers, and that there's not really number 1s and number 2s. There's, just goalkeepers that are battling out for their positions. And he understands the dynamic of that, which is a really interesting listen, in fact. Jacob says, hi, Tom. Looking back on the Monaco United game, I see that many of our attacking ideas just end up with hopeless crossing, hitting their first defender. Happened multiple times. What are your thoughts? Not every attack is going to be successful. A lot to do with our style is getting into those tight, close goal line areas and then cutting the ball back into the dangerous positions, hoping that someone is going to be there. I'm interested to see when we play our best team, which hopefully will be tomorrow, what type of chances we then make. But there's also lots of chances we make on the break and pushing through the lines and being incisive with our passing. So we do notice those cutbacks that get blocked, sure, but there is variation to our attacks as well. Darren says there's chat about Arsenal going after Josip Sutalo from Dinamo Zagreb. Any more word on this? Colin Moani has told Frankfurt that he wants to leave this summer. Pity it wasn't earlier in the window. Yeah, that's a shame. On Sutalo, Arsenal have had a long-standing interest for him. He's a kind of a centre-back that can play full-back, which kind of tells you what type of player that Mikel Arteta is very much looking to go after during these windows. I know that there's interest. I don't know of anything going beyond that just yet, but let's wait and see, and we'll follow that thread if we need to. Owen says, in a perfect window, what business should get done incomings before the window ends? I think David Raya and a forward who can play in a wide right position would be a perfect window if we can get those done. Nourish says, unpopular opinion, I don't think Flo was ever going to be good enough to lead the line at Arsenal. If he was, he would be doing it right now. That's not a question. It's just a statement. Holding says, Tom, with the sad times that Aaron Ramsdale go through last season, with obviously his family situations, knowing that his wife is pregnant now, do you think Arsenal are trying to get Raya to give Aaron a break? No, I don't think that's related in any way. I think it's purely footballing reasons why we're signing David Raya. I don't think it's to do with that. I think Aaron showed brilliant professionalism during what was a really tough time, played some of his best football for Arsenal during a really tough time, and I think that he was able to still perform to a very high level despite the horrific things that was sadly going on with his family. So no, I don't think they are related in any way, shape or form. And that with Oxymato says, do you think the Community Shield is more than a friendly? Because if we lose, the banter will come for us. It's a little bit more than a friendly, but not much more. And Engine, thank you so much for becoming a member and helping support the TGT family. We did it. We got through as many questions as we could. I hope you've appreciated this shorter show. I'm afraid that I'm going to have to shoot off now. A very hectic day indeed. But yes, I'm looking forward to the weekend. I'm looking forward to getting to Wembley tomorrow. There will be a normal length show tomorrow morning. So do watch out for that. Have a fantastic weekend, Saturday, all that stuff. I hope that you're enjoying yourselves. And as always, up the Arsenal.